Hey everybody, welcome back here to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. My name is Hunter, and in this forecast, we're going to be talking about a very active weather pattern over the next 2 weeks, which will bring multiple winter storms across parts of the United States with heavy snow, sleet, freezing rain, but also a heavy rain and severe weather side as well. We're going to be breaking down everything that you need to know in this weather forecast. So if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to the channel, follow along with all of my detailed, accurate weather breakdowns here on this channel as we do two-a-days, late morning, early afternoon, such as now, and again in the evening. So make sure to subscribe so you can follow along with all the detailed, accurate weather breakdowns. Also, like the video by giving it a thumbs up and share this video with friends, family, and on social media. I definitely appreciate it. Hey, look at what I captured yesterday evening here in northern Illinois. Your very own Hunter from Weather on the Go, and a very beautiful sunset here as well over the open fields of northern Illinois outside Rockford, Illinois. So very nice sunset and nice temperatures as well yesterday. And speaking of our temperatures, let's look at the western United States. Here are your highs as we go into this afternoon, and notice in the higher elevations we're going to be seeing obviously the cooler air, but outside of that, Montana down into eastern Wyoming, here into South Dakota and Nebraska, down into Kansas, and especially here into parts of California and Arizona, a lot of 50s and 60s out there this afternoon, so definitely enjoy those nice temperatures, and that'll extend into the central US as well. Here are your high temperatures in parts of Iowa, Illinois. We're into the 40s this afternoon, above normal temperatures, 60s further to the south here across portions of southern Missouri, much of the Razorback state of Arkansas, and over here in toward portions of Tennessee as well, and further to the south near the Gulf Coast, temperatures will be in the 60s and 70s here in the eastern view. To the north, we're going to be seeing some Arctic air up there into portions of Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, upstate New York, temperatures holding out into the single digits to teens there, some 20s down there in western New York and Massachusetts, and then more 30s and 40s across the Ohio Valley and the Mid-Atlantic. Let's look at our temperature trends as we go through the rest of this week. Simply to put, the below normal temperatures, the colder temperatures that will be in the blue and the green, and then also the above normal temperatures or the warmer temperatures will be in the oranges and the reds and whites. So let's follow through as we go through the weekend here, and you can see as we go into Thursday, above normal and well above normal temperatures. We could be closing in on record territory for highs in places like Chicago, Des Moines, into the Twin Cities as we go into tomorrow on Thursday, January 30th. And then as we go into Friday, January 31st, nearing record highs in parts of the Mid-Atlantic. Places like Trenton, New Jersey, over here to Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Pittsburgh, Charleston, West Virginia, some areas that could be near record highs as we go into Friday, January 31st. And then extending it into the weekend, notice we got another blob of some warm air here in the Central Plains on Saturday. And then as we go into Sunday, that slides east here in toward the Midwest and into the Ohio Valley. Let's look here at the precipitation as we go through the next couple of days, because we got a storm system down here into the desert southwest, and it's going to be spreading moisture here into Texas. So this afternoon, we're going to see some showers and some thunderstorms begin to develop across portions of Oklahoma, down into Texas, Arkansas, and Louisiana. The cold pocket aloft, the colder air, is going to be back here into the mountains of the desert southwest, southern Utah, Flagstaff area there into Arizona, southwestern Colorado, Albuquerque area of New Mexico. That's going to be where the heavier snows could be this afternoon. We do have to watch the potential for severe weather, especially this evening. We could see a line of thunderstorms develop from southeast Oklahoma back through the Dallas-Fort Worth area, back here even into central Texas. Damaging winds, large hail, and a couple tornadoes will be possible this evening. And then as we go into Thursday morning, those storms will grow up scale into what we call an MCS, a mesoscale convective system, basically just a fancy term for a line of thunderstorms as we go into Thursday morning. And notice these storms aren't moving very fast, so heavy rainfall will also be a concern in addition to a severe weather threat on Thursday, and that severe weather threat Thursday will shift more east into East Texas, southern Arkansas, Louisiana, and western Mississippi. Let's break down the severe weather threat for you. Today, we have a level 1 out of 5 marginal risk here across portions of far southern Oklahoma, but also north central Texas, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, back to San Angelo, and just north of San Antonio. A low threat for some 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail, and a brief tornado or two will be possible. Then as we extend into the forecast tomorrow, we have a threat for severe weather a little bit more heightened across southeast and east Texas, into much of Louisiana and far southwestern Mississippi as well. Notice the marginal risk. The dark green goes all the way up to Little Rock, so be keeping an eye on severe weather there. Dallas-Fort Worth still on the back end of severe weather there as we go into Thursday morning. In the Houston area, we have a slight risk. Lake Charles, Alexandria, Shreveport, Monroe, over into Natchez, Mississippi. Those are the areas that have a heightened risk for some severe weather. 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, quarter to half dollar size hail, and a couple tornadoes possible there through Thursday. This system's also going to be producing some pretty heavy rainfall. So even if you don't get severe weather, even further north, we're going to be seeing a swath of around 2 to 4 inches worth of rain, roughly from around the Dallas-Fort Worth area through Fort Smith and also Little Rock, Arkansas, Jonesboro, all the way up here into places like Cape Girardeau, into Paducah, into the Louisville area. So a widespread area of some pretty heavy rainfall, and we extend it into the eastern view. Notice the rainfall continues further east into the mid-Atlantic. Not as heavy though, but we're still seeing some heavier rains into Lexington, Cincinnati, Charleston, over here into Knoxville, Johnston City, over into Richmond, and also into the Washington, D.C. area on the order of around a half inch upwards to an inch as we go through that Friday night time frame. This could lead to some flash flooding, at least in isolated or scattered instances from around the Dallas-Fort Worth area to Fort Smith, Arkansas today. And then as we go into tomorrow, much more widespread area flooding potential, stretching from Cincinnati all the way back to San Antonio, and in the yellow shaded color from roughly Evansville, Indiana, and Paducah, Kentucky, all the way back to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Tyler, Texas. That's the area where we could be seeing some more widespread flash flooding potential as we go through Thursday. This system's not going to have a lot of cold air to work with, so it is reasonable to believe that snowfall is not going to be plentiful at all with this system. The mountains across the desert southwest going to be seeing some cold air aloft that will drop a couple inches to several inches of snow. Pacific Northwest seeing some snowfall through your Friday night, and then a little bit of a clipper system track from northwest to southeast across the upper Great Lakes and the northeast. Could spread a couple more inches of snow for us between now and Friday night. Not a blockbuster snow event at all, that is for sure. Now going into the first week of February, here is the background state of the atmosphere. We got a ridge of high pressure here in the orange, that's across the southeast, and we got a trough of low pressure in the blue, that's across the Pacific Northwest and southwestern Canada. Typically, a ridge brings quieter weather, milder temperatures. A trough brings unsettled weather and cooler temperatures. So notice our temperature anomalies here in the orange. You see warmer temperatures to the south. To the greens, blues, you can see colder temperatures to the north. And it really doesn't make headway further to the south much. Maybe into Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. But the cold air really remains locked up to the north through the first week of February. So it will be difficult to see snowfall further south, but it will be an active weather pattern. So looking here at Northern California, yeah, we're seeing well above normal precipitation anomalies here, and into Oregon, Idaho, Wyoming here, into Montana, Nevada, Utah, a lot of areas out west seeing well above normal precipitation, and then that will swing further east into the Midwest, the northern central plains, into the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes, and the Northeast, and by the way, even southern Canada being active as well. So a lot of areas with active weather. Notice the browns down here. That's drier weather. The browns from Texas along the Gulf Coast into the Carolinas and Virginia will likely be below normal with our precipitation. Doesn't mean we won't see any precipitation. It just means it'll be drier than normal across those areas as we go through the first week of February. So let's look at the European model and show you what the European model is thinking as far as precipitation. Starting on Saturday, February 1st, bigger system bringing some heavier snows across a lot of the higher elevations of the Pacific Northwest and the southwestern Canada. And then as we go into Sunday, February 2nd, we got a clipper system track, like we mentioned, northwest to southeast flow across Manitoba, Ontario, the Great Lakes region here with some snow. The main system, the main parent low, will be back here to the west, dropping some pretty heavy moisture there in Northern California. We extend into Monday the 3rd and the Tuesday the 4th, Wednesday the 5th. Notice we got a lot going on here as we go into the first week of February. And then as we go into Thursday the 6th, I think that's when all the momentum shifts further east. So the central and eastern U.S. will begin to see more precipitation there on Thursday, and then Friday the 7th, maybe a bigger snowstorm, but probably up here into Quebec, Ontario, the Great Lakes, and interior New England. Something to watch out. This could be a 973 millibar low Late in the first week of February, around the 6th, 7th of February, this could bring some wind whip snow, maybe a blizzard up here to Quebec, according to the European model. Now, the GFS model, very similar as we go into the 1st of February. The 2nd, notice we got that clipper system, bigger system kind of hanging out across the west. As we go into it early next week, we start to see more of that translate further east very slowly, and then it really starts to crank east as we go into that Thursday time frame. Notice the GFS, more suppressed look here, doesn't have a big low like the European does, and doesn't have a blizzard in southeastern Canada. So the confidence that far out is very different. The European model is gung-ho on potentially a blizzard in southeastern Canada and Quebec, Ontario, and the GFS American model on Friday not showing a flake of snow. So there is a lot of disparity with the models. We'll continue to update you on the forecast there. Let's look at the precipitation in general. Where is the heaviest precipitation going to be going into the first week of February? Well, that will be out west, okay? So Northern California, Western Oregon, up into Western Washington State. You've been quiet here for much of January. We're going to get active again, and we're going to get very active. We're going to start to see quite a bit of moisture out here. Rainfall amounts could be in excess of 6 inches, maybe double-digit rainfall totals over here in Northern California. We're also going to see moisture where you see the blues and the deeper greens here in the eastern U.S. That's at least a couple inches of rain. Now, looking at the snowfall, we told you how the colder temperatures will be locked further to the north. That means the snow line will be well up to the north up here into the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, the Great Lakes, and interior New England, and really even southern Canada as well. So areas south of that, like Kansas, Missouri, Kentucky, West Virginia, Virginia on south, we're probably not going to see much, if any, snow chances through the first week of February. Finally, let's look at the background state of the atmosphere as we go into the second week of February, more so from February 8th through the 15th time frame. And notice, not much has changed here. The only thing that's changed is we have that trough making a headway more to the south, and that could bring colder air further south, more into the plains, and that will squash that ridge a little bit further south too, toward the Gulf, and also over here into Florida. And let's look at our temperature anomalies during that second week. This is February 8th through February 15th. Notice the blue starting to move further to the south, perhaps to North Texas with below normal temperatures, but the coldest of the air in the green here from Alberta all the way down into Montana there, that's where the coldest of air will be in that second week of February. And here is the precipitation anomaly. Notice pretty active still across the Pacific Northwest and West Coast, and that momentum will translate further east across the central and eastern U.S. So our storm track will be roughly from around Colorado and northern New Mexico through Kansas into Missouri, through the Ohio Valley, and into the northeast here. And on the southeast side, the warmer side of the low pressure system, heavier rain, severe weather will need to be watched across the Gulf Coast states into the southeast and mid-Atlantic, and then more of the snow potential. And by the way, with that colder air coming in a little bit further south in the second week of February, we could see that snow line shifting another state or two further south. So now Kansas gets into the mix, into Missouri, into Kentucky here, West Virginia, maybe even western North Carolina could get in some snow into that second week of February, between February 8th and February 15th. Thank you so much for following along with my weather forecast. Thank you for supporting the page. If you want to support above and beyond, subscribe to the channel, and I'll give you a detailed, accurate weather breakdown here each and every day on this channel. Make sure to subscribe, like the video, give it a thumbs up, share this video with friends, family, and on social media, and you bet we are going to continue to keep you updated on the severe weather threat here in the central and southern plains and the lower Mississippi Valley. Damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes will be in play the next couple of days, this afternoon and into Thursday, so follow along for more coverage on here or on my Twitter page at hweather420, and it will be posted in the description down below the video. Also, if you want to send in any pictures that you have, such as at the beginning of the video when I did post my sunset picture, if you have any pictures like that, snow pictures, send them into my email at weatheronthego20@yahoo.com. That'll also be posted in the description down below the video. Otherwise, thank you all for watching, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their Wednesday out there.